Hey man, it's your boy, Mr. V. Let's get it, man. Listen, thank you very much for tuning into my YouTube channel. Thank you very much for watching, for enjoying the videos. Really appreciate it. While we're on it, man, don't forget to subscribe, to like, to share. Hit the notification button so that every single time when I put up videos, you can be notified. Let's do this. Anyway, you know what? It's to me now, it's a Sunday. I just thought, let me round off what I have been watching or getting through in the past week. But I think we all know, man. I think talk of town for the past week has been Julius Malema. I think he did phenomenal in that court case. I think it was brought by Afriforum. Really, I think he put some serious pointers into perspective, so to speak, right? I felt that he pointed out a lot of things that a lot of us have never thought of. You know, the idea that, for an example, from apartheid to the current government, there has been some form of forgiving each other, although there may be people who never asked for any um, forgiveness, so to speak, or who never apologized for anything because in their conceptualization of things, they didn't do anything wrong. They didn't see anything wrong that they've done. It was a system, and that's that. Which it it just got me thinking, right? Just got me thinking to say, how many times do we find ourselves in situations like that where I would want to blame certain people for the advantages that I'm getting at that point in time, or this, that, and the other, right? And I think we do need to get into those conversations at some point. You know, we need to discuss to say, okay, um, why is it that our black people and our white counterpart are not correlating when it comes to today's world, right? Why do we not find ourselves together, or why is the process of us merging so slow? World over, by the way, right? You go to America, you know the things that have been happening to black people there. You come to Africa, to South Africa in particular. You go to Europe, all sorts of derogation. I don't even know if that's the word, but derogatory things are being said in and around, right? And it just makes one ask themselves, are we really there? You know, or are we trying to pretend as though we are there? Because at some point or the other, we may need to speak about whether we are there in terms of us merging as black people and white people and all the other races. Are we at a point where we can say we are comfortably merged? We can live together in harmony. If I still walk out here and I see my white neighbor and I look in some type of way, or they look at me as something else, you know, are we matched? Can we comfortably say that we do not see anything wrong when we see a, an interracial relationship in front of us? If you see a black kid, a white kid walking together, holding hands, or in a relationship, do we not see that colorism in some sense? You know, because we may need to get to that point at some point if at all we would like to see this country and the world being a better place for the future generations, really. But listen, I liked everything that Julius Malema articulated in that interview. For me, there were a couple of things, and these are my opinions. I could be very much wrong. I think that cross-examination gave a lot of white people a lot to think about, right? It showed that perhaps there are certain things that are framed and hidden from us so that we may not see. Us, I mean white people, right? I'm just in quotations. So maybe there are things that now they are starting to ask themselves, what else could have been hidden from us? The fact that you would see that song being framed in whatever way, but certain things are cut out, and the circulation of these clips are not telling the entire story, right? The fact that a lot of people feel that no, they have not gotten what they were supposed to have gotten as in black people, right? They've never been considered, so to speak, with everything that has happened. I thought for me that was very important. I watched the entire thing, and really, there's a lot. If I were Afriforum, um, our lawyers, yeah, and the lawyers or advocates, whatever, but yeah, our lawyers, I would say really they didn't do us justice. That's if I were Afroforum. But also, if I was a member of Afriforum who would have donated some money and so forth, I would say they actually helped to take this thing to court, because then it exposed certain things that I did not know about the other side. Because if you were tense and you did not want to have these conversations with your black colleagues and so forth, it would then warrant the discussion, so to speak. It would then warrant for you guys to have a chat, not one that is bashing each other or whatever, but one that seeks to understand. So my race may have done you wrong or done you harm, and for too long I've been looking at it from this angle of you guys are just rowdy, you guys are just thugs and criminals, but I forgot, or I did not know, or I had no better understanding of how it all came to be, right? Because too often when we speak about land, when we speak about these things, we speak about them from an angle of not knowing better, right? From an angle of not knowing things in the way that we should know, right? Um, and when you have a sober discussion, a discussion that seeks to know, not a discussion that seeks to oppress the next person or to justify our advantage at any point, then we become better people, because I know that, okay, in as much as I may be of advantage in this, I need to allow others to catch up, so to speak, especially if I say I don't want to perpetuate the idea of inequality, right? But I think that was directed by some powers somewhere for that discussion to go down that route, because I don't think for a minute they thought that it was going to go that direction. I don't think that it was in their planning. They were going to have it that hard, right? It was just a matter of exposing what this guy has not been doing, and but yeah, man, they just gave him his favorite turf. He was playing very, very well alone there in that ground, and nobody was disturbing him in any way, shape, or form. Really, for me, it was his show. It was his show all the way through. You can try and frame it in any way, in any shape, in any form. Really, I think the man just did wonderfully, on the day. He was rocking that stage. He showed us and he showed up, man. Um, yeah, I think from the news perspective, I saw that. I also saw the debates, the parliament debates. It was interesting to watch certain things, certain corrections, but look, that part of the world, I think it always has its own issues. People misrepresenting certain facts. I saw this the Minister of Police, where he says something about Julius Malema and the Commission of Police colluding to try and bring him down or get him fired or whatever the case. And I think he misrepresented the facts, because I saw someone on Twitter I think it was Advocate Dalimpofu who posted that on the day that you're talking about, we were busy preparing for Julius Malema's mother's unveiling or grandmother's unveiling or something to that effect. And I was like, oh, okay, so that means whatever that he's saying may not be true. But then again, I mean, these are politicians, they're known to sometimes misrepresent the truth. And we have sort of gotten used to it. If it was somewhere else, I think that would have been big news. But it's South Africa, my brother. We do this thing easy, easy. We're cruising and nothing to worry about at all. Yeah, from the entertainment point of view, I think there's a whole lot of things that have been happening. The Valentines of this world, some people are getting bought hotels, some are getting taken out for vacations and all of these things. I did see that someone sent a statement about them getting divorced. And for me, I've said a lot, really. I do not find it joyful. Is it joyful? Yeah, I don't find it joyful to see that someone is at a state of divorcing, because I don't believe that that was the point of them getting married. Perhaps they wanted to get married for the long haul. And it's never nice to go through a breakup or any separation of that sort, But also, it's a personal matter, if the person is a public figure, I think I must be able to judge them particularly on their talent or on what they're bringing forth, right? I did notice when I watched McG's podcast, they were having fun with Minnie Lamini, and having said, I think it's because of their beef, or some form of beef due to what she once said. The guys were having fun with it, but for me, I don't know, man. I really don't know. I think things can be done differently, especially when it's things that have to do with your personal life, things that affect me and me alone emotionally. You can drive people to do things in a wrong way, really, and all in the name of wanting entertainment. I don't understand it. I don't think I will ever understand it. But I suppose she's a big girl. They are big people, they can handle it. But yeah, man, I'm not about to do that. I'm not about to go down that route. But it has been quite a week for a lot of things: news front, entertainment front, current event, all sorts of things. You know, um, so I enjoyed consuming all this news. Like I said, for me, the highlight was just Julius Malema from the current event point of view. I even saw someone on TikTok. They put up a video. It's a white gentleman put up a video saying that he wasn't aware that this thing goes that deep, where black people feel that they've been wrong, but nobody has apologized. And it's true, and sometimes because we don't have these conversations, and too often in these corporate offices, we as black people, we try, man, we try and not cheese off the white folks, because we don't want to disturb. We don't know what they might do to us. They might get us fired. If I get fired and I'm supporting 7 of my family members, what will it be for me? Or what's gonna happen? What's gonna be? What is it gonna look like? All that kind of jazz. And really, we've become tentative, to saying certain things. We just opt to isolate ourselves and say these things in our own groups and so forth, right? Because we don't want to cheese up the bag, but if at all we want to move to a certain area, I think we will need to have that conversation and have it soberly. I like the idea that we had the Truth and Reconciliation at some point when we transitioned from apartheid to the new government. But I think now we are sober enough to can have a proper discussion to say, what is it that your race has done to me, and what is it that your race has done to me, and from here, what do we do? Where do we go? How do we go about it? But listen, this is South Africa, man. I don't see it happening. I don't want to lie to you. I honestly don't think that it will ever happen, because the status quo, the way it is, it suits certain narratives, it suits certain people, and they can carry on benefiting in whatever way they want to benefit. But yeah, man, it's been what's been on my mind, on my head. I hope that one day we will be reconciled nicely. We will be good and solid, nicely so, you know. But yeah, that's all I've been watching really. Anywho, I gotta bounce. Before I go, please, man, subscribe. I see that I've been getting a lot of views from people and so forth, but nobody's subscribing. Really would help if you just hit a subscribe. If you hit a like, a notification bell there, so that you may be notified next time when I put up my videos. Share with everyone that you would want to share with. The more the merrier. We're a family here, man. We are a family, and I really enjoy putting these videos up, and it would really motivate if you guys do share, you know. One of these days I'm going to do it a bit longer with some of my friends. I want to discuss all these current event discussions, and tackle certain issues, go deep into them with some of my friends. But yeah, man, I'd like for us to grow a little bit, so that when I call these guys, when we have these sit downs, we can have them with people we know that, okay, there are people who are going to consume our content in any way, shape, or form. But I really appreciate everybody who's been viewing my videos, who's been watching. I know the last video, when you go into the middle, then music disturbs. Really apologize for that. I will do better, you know. I will correct it. But yeah, man, I really appreciate that you are consuming the content. Keep on liking if you do like the content, sharing, and all of that. Anyway, Mr. V has got to bounce. I'm out of here, man.